hands up here. Again, if you have a question for a coach, use that raise hand tool, and we'll go right in order then. Um, People are slow today. All right, Brooks Holton, go ahead, sir.
Hey, Pat, good morning.
Morning.
I was wondering, as you get prepped for Wake Forest, have you given yourself much time to think about, your history there with the school and getting started there with Skip? Heard you speak on a podcast recently, just kind of about everything that went into, you starting off there as the director of operations. So just wondering, kind of now your first game against Wake Forest here at Louisville, have you given yourself any time to think about that stuff?
Yeah, I mentioned to my wife the other day, it's a little surreal just preparing for a game against Wake Forest because I have so much history there. I have a ton of relationships there. It was a special time in my life. I worked for my mentor and my college coach, Skip Prosser, and we had great times, and it was a great era of Wake basketball. Obviously, we tragically lost Coach Prosser 17 years ago. And he's at the forefront of my mind every single day. He was a huge he was a huge mentor to me and had a profound impact on my life. My two daughters, Ruthie and Caroline, were both born in Winston-Salem. So yeah, I mean it obviously has a sentimental feel from that standpoint. I can't tell you, I'd be lying to you if I've spent a ton of time thinking about it, but it did come up several times over the last week as I'm watching game film at the Joel Coliseum, and brings back a lot of memories.
C.L. Brown, go ahead.
Hi, Pat. Was wondering, certainly you've been consistent with making sure you guys are focused on the moment at hand. But I was curious, as you guys have stacked wins on this streak, and kind of the maybe hysteria isn't the right word, but the community, the embrace of the program has seemingly grown over this last month and become more and more excited about it. What have you noticed different from maybe at the start of the year till now, just in terms of how much the fans are more engaged now, or connected more, or just showing their appreciation for what you guys have done so far?
Yeah, you said it at the beginning of your question about us focusing on the task at hand. That is always priority number one. We make a point every single day, as you guys know, to make the next thing we do the most important thing. And we stack that on top of each other again and again and again and again. And I'm a big believer that that's how you create and have consistent results, not guaranteed results, but consistent results. So that's been the sole focus of our team. But there's no question that you can feel the energy and the buzz and the excitement in the city for this team. I think this team, CL, connects in a lot of ways with this city because I think our team represents a lot of the things that the city of Louisville represents. This is a very proud city. It's a very connected, family-oriented city. And I think they see that, feel that within our team, our 25-strong culture. You can see the joy that our kids, our players play with. There's a grit and a toughness about our team. I think that's one of the hallmarks of our team. And I think that toughness, grit, tenacity, blue collar mentality is something that the city of Louisville takes great pride in. They see a team that hustles and that fights and plays very, very hard. So, and then we've had some success, and it's always important. And I've said this on many interviews. It's important for a lot of things, right? I think our city, it's good for our city when Louisville basketball is really good. Obviously, it's good for our school. It's good for fundraising. It's good for recruiting, all those things. But we don't ever, ever, ever talk about those things as our team. It's just The next thing is the most important thing. And throughout the course of the season, you have ups and downs and goods and bads, and we've had a lot of both. And it's us just, having our undivided attention on one of the best teams in our entire conference in a big game here tomorrow night at the Young.
Thanks.
Go next to Matt McGavich.
Pat, since you guys have not played in about a week, I'm curious, where do you kind of stand on the rest versus rust debate, especially when you throw in that you guys have had all that momentum behind you?
Where the what debate?
The rest versus rust, considering you haven't played in a week.
Rest versus rust. That's a good one. I never heard that before. We had a really good productive week. I mean, obviously, this time of year, every team in the country has nicks and bruises and bangs and things going on. So, I mean, obviously, it was important for our guys to have a bit of recovery on the front end because we needed a little bit. We had missed a lot of school from an academic standpoint. We had a bunch of, things that we had to catch up on. But we got right back into game prep mode these last couple days. We had a couple practices midweek where it wasn't opponent specific. It was us being able to just compete against each other, work on us, on our system, on the schematics of our offense and defense. And then, like I said, we got right back to game prep and got right back into that rhythm of getting ready from a preparation standpoint for a very, very, very good weight team. So, we were able to recover a little bit, but we compete every single day and had some knockdown, drag out practices where we got after it. And I feel good about our preparation in the last couple of days.
And just a really quick follow-up, how is Noah Waterman's thumb progressing, and do you expect him to play tomorrow?
Yeah, I don't have any update on that right now. And I don't, I have no word on what he's going to, where he's going to be by tomorrow. He continues to be day to day.
Thanks, Pat.
Russ, go ahead, sir. Russ, you might have to take yourself off of mute there.
That would help, wouldn't it? Yeah, you mentioned Wake being very, very good, and they showed it, by the way. They played Duke, had a lead in the second half, and just wasn't able to quite hold on. But what impressed you about them, and then what did you see in the Duke game that compares with how you played Duke?
Well, the Duke game seems about 420 years ago. So I don't know if I could compare our Duke game versus how they played Duke. But I do know one thing. This is one of the best teams in our league, and it's obvious. It jumps out on tape just how talented they are. They have an older veteran team. They have a first team all conference player and probably have another one as well. I have no idea, what the list is and how many get on first team. I have no idea, but 23, is a pro. He's a problem. 6 is just a tough veteran, savvy, skilled, and then that toughness, I think, permeates throughout their entire roster. 4 is a big, physical, skilled guy inside. 8 is a blur in transition, fast, steals the ball. 2 is one of the most talented freshmen in the entire league. 25 is a versatile, skilled, tough guy. 7 off the bench can really shoot. 0, big physical kid that can shoot off the bench. 1, really, they have weapons. They're playing their best basketball of the year, similar to us. They're one of the best defensive teams in the conference. They disrupt, they turn you over. They're physical, very good rebounding team. I mean, I could go on and on. And then Forbesy, I've known for a long, long time. We competed against each other with some knockdown dragouts when he was at East Tennessee State and I was at Winthrop. His teams are always well schooled, always well prepared, always tough, always dangerous. It's going to be a big time conference game in here tomorrow against two teams that are playing, like I said, their best basketball of the year.
Thank you.
Pat, thank you. Appreciate the time. We'll see you next week.
Okay, thank you.
All right, next up, we've got Bill Courtney from Miami.